The RZA of the Wu-Tang Clan said in one of his songs, "In a world of desire, there's 1,000 snares." Things such as porn, obsessive gaming, obsessive gambling, eating, these addictions could be labeled as bad life habits people pick up. This happens because people aren't doing anything. Your life is sedentary. Most people are on the treadmill of a job. This is where many bad habits form. We hate our jobs, and the monotony of our jobs is killing us. We have to look for a way to dull ourselves. Some reach for the bottle. Some game all day. Some chase females. Others eat a lot, etc. Some will tell you to cut things out of your life. This isn't necessary in all cases, and cold turkey doesn't work because cold turkey doesn't address the problem. It only wrestles endlessly with the symptoms. The problem is bad time investments due to having no goals. We've invested way too much time in diversions, which is caused by not having purpose or goals. You can't tell someone to spend less time playing video games when they have nothing to replace the time with. If you tell someone who games 8 hours a day to only game an hour a day, what are they going to do with those 7 hours, and why do they even have this amount of free time? People with no goals or ambitions will never overcome addiction. Again, you don't need to cut these things out entirely. Some things are bad for your health, and you need to get rid of them, but other things just need to be regulated. You've allowed these things to take over your life and stop you from productive endeavors. Figure out the things you need to do to be productive towards a goal. Once you've completed these daily tasks, if you have spare time, you can engage in the activities you enjoy as long as they're not inherently unhealthy. Instead of eating junk food every day, you eat it once a week while eating healthy the rest of the week. Only game when you have completed the tasks for your goal. Tell the females you'll get with them after you finish what you have to do for the day. The tasks towards your goal take first priority, but first you need some real life goals. A job isn't a life goal. You clock in, spin your wheels, and clock out. You don't build, produce, or create anything at your job. You're just a spinning cog in a machine someone else built. This will leave any human being feeling worthless and spent, so they look for emotional Novocaine to prepare to do it all again and again and again for the next 50 years. This is where the drinking, smoking, and woman chasing come into play. When you feel like you're in a dead-end situation you'll never get out of, this is when you look for ways to cope. We have to make better time investments. Life without discipline is useless, but discipline without a goal is fruitless. No one develops discipline in a vacuum. People are able to put their nose to the grindstone when they have determined a clear goal. People talk about having small, attainable goals, like, I'm going to make sure my bed is made for the next month. For what? Why are you doing this? What are you going to do when the month is over? If you don't see value in your bed being made, then it means nothing, and you'll eventually just stop. These things need to mean something to your life. The notion of doing something because it's a good thing to do isn't something anyone does. The things people do serve a tangible purpose towards a goal. No one does things over a long period of time out of some contrived sense of duty. We're creatures of habit and routine, but we will only develop new habits or maintain old ones if we feel they tangibly serve us in some way. The reason dieting doesn't work for most people is because their objective to lose weight isn't attached to any tangible purpose or ambition. They're doing it for the sake of itself. This will work in the short term, but this is why people lose the weight then put it back on in a year or less. People with all these various habits need to figure out what they want to do with their life. These habits are an attempt to fill the void in your life. A failed attempt because it doesn't do anything but provide temporary comfort while not even touching the root issue. We need to admit our lives as they are leave us grossly unfulfilled. Once we see this, we can begin mapping out a plan to live a more fulfilling life. Taking steps towards this will help us greatly in battling addiction. There are physiological addictions, like being addicted to cocaine or narcotics. These aren't any different from non-physiological addictions. They just require additional care. You may have to see a doctor and take medication to deal with withdrawal symptoms and detoxing, but like bad life habits, you'll drop them when you develop a clear life goal and see these things not fitting into that goal. People shackled to addiction are people going nowhere at light speed. Once we discover our purpose in life and begin operating in it, the scales of addiction fall off.